Today, we're going to be doing a demonstration for you on the upgraded iCool Plus system by JLU here at AO Medical. So this is a 5-in-1 system. It has our heat and cryo with electroporation. We then have an ultrasound capacity, a skin scrubber where it combines exfoliation along with product penetration and lifting. And then we have our Iontophoresis, which is going to be incorporating various abilities to penetrate product from water-based ampules, lipid-based ampules, which are fat-based ampules, and more neutral ampules, which could be a combination of both of those. So for demonstration purposes today, we're going to be walking through all of the modalities at once. These can be done in a separate treatment, a separate modalities treatment if you'd like, which has a really great effect at just stimulating some metabolism. It will have a nice lifting, a toning effect, and again, penetrating the products that you're going to be using and incorporating into the treatment, which can be a series of ampules, it can be other gels, pretty much any kind of product that you feel is going to be really suitable to the client's needs. So we're going to start off with the heat/cryo portion. So this is the device head. This is the utility that's used for the cryo and the heat. Now on the unit, you're going to notice that we have the ability to change modes by pushing the M button. We're going to start off, as soon as you turn the unit on, the one that it's going to be geared up for is the heat and then the cryo portion. So right now we have it set to warm. And so we can go ahead then and change the intensity. You have 3 levels of intensity. So with the here, the F, you can go low, medium, high. So I'm just going to go ahead and start on the low intensity, but you can, work with one of those 3 depending on skin sensitivity or what you're trying to achieve. Next, we have the ability to go up to 104 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 40 degrees Celsius. Okay, so it's not too hot to create a lot of discomfort in the skin, but it's going to do the job in terms of penetrating product. It's really going to feel good on the client's skin. It's going to be really great for that facial massage. You can use it for manual lymphatic drainage. It's going to be just a really awesome modality to start with. Now, for clients that have melasma, anything that's going to produce heat, bring up melanin, you're going to avoid the heating portion of this device because, again, heat can trigger melasma. So we want to avoid that if somebody's dealing with that issue. The same being said with somebody with active rosacea. You're going to avoid extreme temperatures and extreme heat. So I would probably avoid the heating element when I'm working with somebody with rosacea. Okay, so for demonstration purposes here, you need to have the client hold the grounding bar because of the electroporation part of this modality. So you're going to wrap the little grounding bar here in some gauze. You're going to hand it to the client, and the client's going to hang on to it while you're using the cryo portion, the heat portion, as well as when we get over to the ultrasound portion as well, they're going to be using the same ground. Okay, so the client can either put their hands back down here, or they can put it under the covers, whichever they're more comfortable with. For purposes of our demonstration today, we're going to be using the Skin Culture Calming Essence. I'm going to apply a fair amount to the skin. So any kind of gel-based product is going to be really great with this particular application. You can also go ahead and use other ampules as well if you wanted to focus on hyperpigmentation, for example, or you wanted to focus on just calming and soothing the skin, or if you wanted to focus on any anti-aging effects as well. So right now we're just going to focus on a nice facial massage with our calming essence. Any aloe-based serum would be really awesome with this as well. Okay, so we are going to start by pushing the start button. And I have it set for 5 minutes, but you could do about 5 or 10 minutes, depending on how many different modalities you're going to incorporate into your facial treatment. So you'll hear it starts, you can hear it activated, and we're going to start slow. And we can do circular motions. And again, unlike radio frequency, it's not going to get to the point where it heats up to where it's super uncomfortable for the client. So you can make small circular motions here. You can also, I like to, do kind of a combination of circles and then kind of curve up for a lifting effect. So again, this is great for increasing blood flow as well, increasing that metabolism in the skin and increasing product penetration. So again, kind of figure out what your pattern is. This is going to feel really comfortable to the client. It's going to be a really wonderful facial massage for them. If you're going to do 5 minutes, I would do 2.5 minutes each side of the face. If you're going to go ahead and do 10 minutes, you're going to want to do 5 minutes each side of the face and then switch to the next modality. This is a lovely combination, starting with the heat and then moving into the cryo mode. Feels really great for the client. So again, this is going to relax the muscles a little bit. And then by the time you get to the cryo portion, it's going to kind of tighten everything and help you really increase some of that lifting in the skin, as well as additional product penetration. And then you can work on the neck as well. Do some upward strokes and along the jawline. Once you've completed your full face, 5 minutes, 5 minutes, or 2.5, 2.5, we are now going to apply a little bit more product. And this time I'm going to work with the Vitamin Essence by Skin Culture. Again, you can use any of the numerous ampules that we have with AO Medical. This one has a lot of our vitamins, our vitamin C in here. So I'm going to go ahead and work with this. And next I'm going to move to the cryo modality. So unlike most cryo devices, this one is going to be applied directly to the skin surface as opposed to blowing, cryo or the nitrous oxide on the skin. So it will cool up quite a bit. So we're now going to move modes. So again, it's going to still stay on this particular modality. So what we're going to do is actually just bring the temperature down as 4 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's going to be pretty cool. So we're pushing that top button and you'll notice that we get a decrease in the temperature. And then it kind of kicks in again when it starts the cooling process. So I'm going to bring it all the way down to minus 20 degrees Celsius, which again is minus 4 degrees Fahrenheit. And then I'm going to increase our minutes, bring it up to 5 minutes. And then you'll start to notice that there is going to be a little bit of frosting that is going to occur on actually the head here. So if you have any product on here, it's going to start to frost up a little bit, like if you put some water on there. So we're now going to do the same technique that we did with the heat. However, it is going to get pretty cold if you're doing the minus 20 degrees Celsius, but this is really going to be great for a nice tightening and a slimming effect. So that's why I'm going a little bit cooler. But because it is so cold, if you're doing the full minus 20, I would definitely make sure you're moving quickly enough so that it's not going to be too cold for the client. But the client will definitely feel this be quite cold on the skin surface. This will be great for somebody that is dealing with a lot of redness, erythema in the skin, somebody that had just undergone laser treatment, a more aggressive or deeper peel, somebody that just had some radiofrequency microneedling that really needs some immediate calming and soothing. The cryo portion feels heavenly on the skin. So again, you could do 5 minutes full face, you can do 10 minutes, completely up to you. If I was trying to really work on slimming for somebody, I definitely would probably be more at the 10-minute mark. And then once I worked on an area for a minute or two, you're going to move up to the cheek area, forehead, and then move back down and maybe do a little bit more on the jawline. So again, we do have our electroporation in here. So it is going to be increasing product penetration. So it's not just going to have the calming, soothing, cryo effect and slimming and tightening, but it's also going to have that ability to penetrate product further as well. Remember the forehead, you can get kind of that little brain freeze. So you want to make sure that you're moving it kind of quickly here. If the client is too sensitive in one area, you definitely can, warm it up a little, meaning reduce some of the temperature, the coolness for the forehead. And then you can definitely bring it back down when you're going to the jawline. You can also do the cryo on top of our sheet masks. So think of anybody that you would probably want to use your beauty globes on, those cooling globes that we have. This can be really great for the oxygenic bubble treatment. And any of our other sheet masks where you again want to kind of calm and soothe the skin, this is going to be a great addition for those treatments. So this is, again, really great for stimulating metabolism. Really great, again, combo. Think of people that jump into a cold plunge and then interact or kind of alternate with a sauna and a cold plunge. Similar effect by alternating heat and then the cooling with the modalities here. Okay, once we've completed the cryo portion on both sides of the face, I'm turning that just off. We're going to grab the hand wand here. The client will be holding that again for the next portion. So next we're going to be using the ultrasound modality. So we are going to move this over. And by the way, when you're moving amongst modalities, you're going to turn the stop the unit for a sec. You're going to then move the modalities to the ultrasound. The client's going to go ahead and hold the wand again. So again, you do need to ground. The client needs to be grounded when you're working with ultrasound and the electroporation. So now we're going to go ahead and we are going to add the MGF, Dr. SD MGF ampule. When you're working with ultrasound, you always want to be working with a water-based gel or solution or serum. I love the Dr. SD ampules. This again is the MGF one with the snail mucin, the goat's milk, and the peptides. And you can go ahead and use the hyaluronic acid solution. You can use the Vitus C ampule. You can use the azulene ampule. So you have a lot of options when you're working with these modalities. So we're going to do a little bit of that like manual lymphatic drainage. Ultrasound is good, not only to penetrate product, but again, to stimulate metabolism. When you're working with your biocellulose masks, you can do ultrasound on top of those. And for those of you doing the advanced skin brightening treatment, when you're working with the vitamin C powder that we have from Dr. Esty, it needs to be activated with ultrasound or galvanic. So this would be a great device to use on top of that product as well in that treatment. So here we go. We are now on ultrasound mode, 5-minute mark. I'm going to start. And then we are going to go. And you'll notice that the kind of the rhythm and the pattern that I'm doing with the ultrasound is going to be very similar to what I did with the hot and cold modality as well. And again, you can go from level intensity 1 to level intensity 2 to level intensity 3 simply by pushing the frequency button before you start. So right now we're on level 1 or intensity 1. And again, this feels very nice for the client. So they're going to feel like they've got a lot of facial massage going on. If you have some time left over, you can go back and kind of work on some areas that need a little bit extra attention. And if you want to do a little manual lymphatic drainage, especially around puffy eyes, you can kind of work here, bring out and down, out and down, out and down. So that's going to work really well with kind of, if there's any buildup of fluid here underneath the eyes, that's going to really help to kind of release that and to move it on. Okay, after you've completed your 5 to 10 minutes with your ultrasound, we're going to take the grounding bar. It's not going to be needed for the skin scrubber portion. So when we're working with the skin scrubber, we're going to have ability to work with 3 different modes. So we are going to move it to scrub mode. I'm going to move it to intensity level 2. We're going to do some exfoliation. So level 1 is your exfoliating step. And I'm going to just, again, just show you what that looks like. And for the exfoliating side, you're going to see it just like sprays. It's very light. Looks like water spraying. This is very detoxifying, but you're pushing very lightly on the skin. So that's F1. Again, that's the modality to exfoliate. Five minutes should be plenty for this portion of the treatment. If you need to add a little bit extra product, if somebody was just going to be getting the exfoliation step done with skin scrubber, I would go ahead and use either the pore extractor or the hexapeel, because those contain some enzymes or salicylic acid with a little glycolic. So that's going to help to really eat up the dead skin and all that oil and gook that's kind of hidden in the pores. So there we go. So that is frequency mode 1 is the scrubber. When we move it to mode 2, you can actually hear it changes in terms of the sound. We're going to now turn it where it's upside down. And this is going to be where we're penetrating product. And you can do this with or without gauze. So if you have a little gauze mask, you can go ahead and put the product on, put the gauze mask on, and then you can go ahead and start doing the product penetration portion. If you've already done the first 3 modalities and you're already getting a lot of product penetration, you can kind of skip this step and you can go to mode 3, which is now going to be your firming step. So now you go slightly and it's going to be a firming / lifting step. And so I'm just lightly with the ultrasound lifting the skin and encouraging it to slim and lift upward. And 5 to 10 minutes full faced would be plenty for this treatment. You can also work on the eyebrows, lifting the eyebrow area up. Once you've done full face with the skin scrubber, I'm going to stop and we are going to take the grounding bar for the iontophoresis part, and we are going to wrap that in a gauze, and the client's going to hold that in their hand. Okay. Then we are going to take a wet gauze and we are going to put that in between the 2 pieces here, and then we're going to roll the gauze around. So this is going to be all about product penetration. And we are now going to add a water-based ampule. So we have 3 modes. When we're working with, I'm going to switch the mode over to where it says ion for iontophoresis. Mode 1. So mode 1 is going to be penetrating a water-based ampule. Mode 2 is going to be to penetrate a lipid or fat-based ampule. And mode 3 is going to be a neutral ampule. For purposes of our demonstration today, I'm going to be working with the Azulene by Dr. SD. It's an Azulene ampule. Calm and soothe the skin. You can see we have a little pink in the skin right now. So I'm going to go and calm and soothe our client's skin. So I'm going to take a full dropper full, and we are going to add that directly to the gauze. And then we are going to set the timer set for 5 minutes. And then I'm going to keep the intensity on level 1, and we are going to start. So we are going to now just work back and forth, increase product penetration. And then when you've completed your penetration, and these can be, you can use any of the ampules, you can use even your Dr. SD booster serum, you can use your Paleo growth factors. You have lots of different choices again with AO Medical, depending on what the client's needs are. We're going to stop the device. We're going to take the ground from the client. And then to sanitize the various modalities, you're going to take your alcohol wipes and you're going to sanitize each of the modalities to get ready for the next client. So for any questions, please feel to reach out to Rachel and myself at Instagram, the SD Sisters, or email at sdSisters.aomedusa@gmail.com, or by phone at 414-469-7260. We would be happy on a call with you and go through how the Cool Plus device can be incorporated into your treatment room.